One, and we're back with One Piece once again. Road Poneglyph. Uh, if you listened to our last episode, we said we were doing 2 volumes. That ended up being a very long talk, so this will go in a future week. And you're listening to it now.
Um, Joe sent me a video of the Soga King, Sniper King intro from the anime where he has like a theme song in this montage. It was kind of fucking hilarious.
Good.
I'm not gonna make fun of the anime as much anymore.
No, you're still allowed to make fun of the anime. But
I don't know. This is fun.
The anime has some really.
It's still One Piece, man. It's still great.
The anime did one cardinal sin.
It's important because that's taking these 2 panels of the first page and expanding it. It's like what they did with the torture dance in JoJo's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is that kind of thing.
Yeah,
that's what anime is for, to expand on something that should be expanded on. Not take 3 panels and stretch them out for an hour and a half. Yeah. But go ahead.
I feel like the 2 strangest things for if I watched the anime right now would be, one, I imagine a lot of stuff would be called different things.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, and 2,
I should have prepared you decently. I've brought up all the major ones.
A lot of times on like volume covers, I'll be really surprised to find that someone's hair or clothes are certain colors.
It's the worst.
And I'm used to seeing them in black and white.
Dude,
so I'm
hey, what color do you think Frankie's Iron Fist when he does Frankie Ultimate Hammer later this volume? What color do you picture that fist being?
Like the metal fist?
Yeah, when he removes like the sleeve off his fist.
I imagine just like kind of like a dark metal charcoal color.
Yeah. It's like dark green or some shit. It's like, why? Who? Who allowed this?
I remember, I think the most surprised I was is when I found out that Princess Vivi's hair was blue.
Yeah, Vivi's hair is blue. Same with Nojiko.
Yeah. I think Vivi's hair is very iconic for her.
Anyway, for this recording, we are doing volume 39.
What's the title of this volume, Bradley?
What's that?
What's the title of this volume?
Scramble.
Ramen.
That's a fun. I mean, this volume does feel like a scramble. People are fucking scrambling.
It's kinetic.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of movement this chapter. Not just people, but like location wise.
Yeah, it's like Snowpiercer. You know, we're just moving forward in the train. I haven't watched Snowpiercer.
This volume is Snowpiercer was based on this volume of One Piece.
Yeah.
It's true.
We're starting at chapter 368, which is the Sea Train Battle Game, and that's a cool chapter name.
Hey.
That rhymed.
Yep, kind of.
So yeah, it starts out with the Soga King he has a backstory. He was like, oh, I was born on Sniper Island and blah blah blah, and you know, in the anime that gets to the best sequences of all time.
Hey, get over here.
Yeah, and so, you know, he tries to give this whole backstory, and they're like, yeah, okay, yeah, so we're gonna find Robin, right?
Don't you want to know where Sniper Island is? It's in your heart.
So I don't know. I love him. I love Sniper King. I never want Usopp to come back because Sniper King is very good.
Well, you heard it here first, folks.
Everything I just said was a lie. I love Usopp.
Man, oh my God, Sniper King has this scene. Oh, it's so good.
And then we turn the page, and Nami is being hot. Let's just everyone have a moment of silence.
Oh, Bradley.
Everyone have a moment of silence for Nami's hotness. This is really fun, though. We see that she kind of has a slightly upgraded climate baton. And it's like, yeah, after we got back from Sky Island, Usopp worked on it with a dial. And that...
his final work.
Yeah, they're very sad about it. But I'm just like, let's go fucking get Usopp back, man.
Well, you just said that you don't want to go. You pick your choice.
I lied. I love Usopp.
So I want to point out that kind of the introduction of this baton kind of gives us the idea that there has been some amount of time that's passed between Skypiea and now.
Yeah.
Like it's not been like it's been a few days, if not more than maybe a few weeks.
Just think of the attacks that Zoro's pulling out and Zoro and Sanji are pulling up with this volume. Like they train and they do shit on the ship that we don't see and we don't really necessarily have to see.
Even Luffy has a new attack, which is fucking
ally robot.
But I just thought Oda does things interesting when it comes to time because we're not really told how long we've been gone or like how long this thing has been happening, but we know it's been happening happening. So it's kind of Oda wants you to just infer how long things are going.
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring that up.
No, yeah, that's good because I kind of figured that some time had passed because we saw these attacks. I was like, okay, when would, for a lot of Luffy's attacks, I'm like, he can pretty much ad lib those, but I imagine he would have actually had to practice the ally robot
Yeah.
week. So,
because I don't think time is ever referenced in One Piece except for one occasion. I don't think time with the crew has ever been referenced like, oh, we've been here for a week, or we've been here for sailing for several days.
Well, no, they reference time. They're like, oh, you have to be here 3 days before your log post.
Yeah, I know that, but I mean, like, they haven't.
The sailing time is not referenced.
Yeah.
They never
usually go from one place straight to the other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they don't refer back to Alabasta happened a month ago. They're just never like they never say these events happened X years ago unless it's a flashback.
And then with the cover pages that feel like they could be side adventures, you also get this sense of like you're only gonna get small glimpses of what shenanigans they got into before they got there.
Man, if you imagine Alabasta all the way through Water 7 happening within the span of 1 or 2 months, they have to be fucking exhausted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot to do.
I think it's been longer than that for sure.
Yeah, I hope so. Our people need rest.
Let our people rest.
We go back to the Puffing Tom, and Lucci's like, "Oh, eradicate the intruders." And so we see T-Bone and his men go to the very back of the ship, and they open the door. And I don't know, Frankie and Sanji are just smiling and waving. For some reason, I giggled like an idiot.
Good evening.
Frankie's face is just fucking funny. He's like, hey!
Yeah.
I like Sanji.
They're just having too much fun. But
I
it's
love
like they know they can fuck these guys
I love
up.
how T-Bone is so wholesome that he does not like crooked fighting, so he only attacks in right angle slashes. Like, that is... I can't... Like, there's no other series I could have said that sentence. It's so One Piece.
Yeah, it's just a very small, flavorful thing that fleshes them out so much more.
Yeah, and it's just goofy and fun.
At this point, One Piece already has way more characters than a lot of manga get over their whole lifetime.
Yeah.
And they still all feel so unique and fleshed out. Even characters that you would only see for like 1 or 2 chapters are like their own people.
Yeah.
And some mangaka they, if a character's not important, if they're in the background, they'll just like fade them out, or they won't draw the face, or they'll just kind of make them look like dolls or something. Oda doesn't do that.
Yeah, the background people in One Piece, look very distinct.
Like within this one train car, these Marine guys who you're never gonna see again, he's very like internally consistent with what these guys look like. Like, oh, there's the bushy black-haired guy there, and then a page later, the bushy black guy hair's over here.
Shit. Look at this page here where in the bottom right you have a trap. They're running like to the door. And in the bottom left you have T-Bone saying, I was too late. If you look at this world government guy here in the right panel, he's the one in the middle back page of the left panel, but his mouth is really open now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And it's like you feel like you're in that environment because he's so consistent with the way he draws it. Like all these people are in the same place.
I also like how when you're looking at these background characters, you can kind of tell where each one of these people belong within the Navy military. Like you can tell the Marines for the Marines, you can tell the CP9 people from the folk. Like everyone has a very distinct look in the
this guy's a cook, this guy's like a
Oda makes a point to like if he's gonna have a lot of people uniform, you're gonna know directly off the bat what they do and like where they belong in the society and how they relate to each other.
Oda's good at character design.
It's true.
I said it.
There's a good video about that by Mr. Mother's Basement.
There is. It's only about the first
5 arcs. Yeah. He goes on this spiel about Axe Hand Morgan and how he uses his chin thing is to cover his butt chin, which I never realized for decades because he's too much of a macho man. So good.
So we see their plan was to kind of cut off the last. They like lured as many people as they could to the back two train cars and then cut it off. And I was like, hey, that's a cool plan. And then I was like, I wanted them to fight T-Bone, but then I was like, wait, he's a sword guy, so he has to fight our other sword guy. And then I was made aware that there was a cook on the train, so I was like, oh, he has to fight our cook.
Yep.
So
Oh boy.
God, oh boy.
We get an introduction of Frankie's awesome like frontal iron platings.
yeah, he's fucking badass because he has a refrigerator in his stomach, which I
Yeah.
think we knew about the refrigerator already, but
Yeah, man.
it's cool
That's
that
how
it's his armor.
He has to power it up. There's a lot that happens in this chapter, by the way. Like I reread it today. I'm like, man, there's a lot jammed in this one
Hell yeah.
20 pages.
And y'all, another flavor thing I just love about Frankie is that his back is his weakness because he just couldn't reach his back.
How could he possibly? It's impossible.
And I don't know, like
He didn't have a medical professional on hand.
I feel like I just wouldn't have thought of that. I would have just been like, oh, he made himself into a cyborg, and now his whole body's a
Because
cyborg.
it's stupid and goofy, and there's no way he could possibly do it. But Oda's like, I'm gonna add just a little bit of realism, and you're gonna be like, of course, of course.
Oda chooses the funniest places to insert that realism.
Yeah.
And it just
I
makes
appreciate it.
Yeah. So we show up to the cooking fighter. How do you say it?
My God, Wanze. This motherfucker.
Does anybody really care about this fight?
Okay.
I like this fight.
There's some really good gags in this fight. That I was rereading and I was like, why am I chuckling here and there?
Yeah.
But also this might be the dumbest maybe ever in One Piece. Like,
Yeah.
this guy makes Pearl look really serious. You know, like, but he kicks. He kind of fucks though.
Yeah.
Like,
the things I liked about this fight was the difference between them, because this guy feels like a hack cook and Sanji is like, no, you don't know the way of the real cook, and that's the stuff I like.
Yeah.
There's some stuff I like there's some good jokes, but there's this one panel in page 12 or 13 of 369 where Wanze does this spinning fire kick. It looks so good. And then there's this after effect of Wanze on the table, but then the wall that he hit just explodes in flames.
Yeah.
It looks great. And the rotational lines, like, Oda's so good at rotational lines. And
yeah, he really is.
And those follow-throughs.
His line work is superb.
But then, like, he's like, you kicked me 20 times when I was doing that attack.
Yeah.
And that's just so fucking funny.
12 times.
The spaghetti armor is so silly.
Armor.
Little mech suit.
There's one thing I want to bring up with Wanze, the finale of the fight, but we get to Nero before then. Nero's a lot more serious and a lot cooler designed.
And I think it's cool to see him because obviously someone has to actually train those 6 powers. So we're seeing someone who, hasn't quite mastered all of them. He only has 4.
Yeah.
And for one of them, he kind of has to, like, he's like, oh, I can't really do that one on my own yet, so I have to, like, use a prop.
Yeah, he's like, I can't do finger guns, so I'm going to pull out my guns.
I think that's really cool that we see someone who's in the process of becoming one of these 6 power fighters.
Yeah, he gets to ride on the train with them, but he's not good enough to be in the proper cart with them, so it shows that he's not quite there yet.
Yeah.
And it also saves, like, bigger fights for later. It allows them to have a small victory over CP9 without expending someone from the cast.
Exactly.
And y'all, one of the hardest I've laughed in One Piece so far is whenever we start the fight with Nero and Frankie, where Frankie does the trick where he's like, hey, what's that thing behind you? And then Nero turns and he punches him in the face. And he's just smiling like, I'm the shit.
Frankie, dude, I'm so glad we finally get to talk more about Frankie because I love him so much. He's so much fun.
He's just smiling like, yeah, that was so fucking cool.
His design, his fucking, his attitude, it's just great.
Oh, man, he might also like my favorite character design in the story so far. He just looks fucking cool.
So cool.
I also like to mention that he says it's been back home, I'm the boss of the bad guys.
Yeah. I'm the boss of the bad guy. See, I picture like a gumshoe.
Yeah. I just kind of like that. I think it's a cool moment to throw back to think about Water 7 is that when we first arrived here, this guy was like the fucking guy that was the villain
If
for
you
us.
read the first 3 volumes of Water 7, you would say Frankie's the antagonist of the entire arc. From the way he was introduced.
I was like, oh, he's gonna be.
You would almost think that like Water 7 was going to be kind of a goofy fucking arc because it's just how Frankie was going to be, and like with the exception of the Usopp stuff, like it just seemed kind of weird because he's so out of place compared to everything else that's happening with his mannerisms. He's great, but yeah, it's kind of a nice little throwback to like, remember when we thought this guy was a bad guy?
God, that panel is just so fucking funny to me. He's just so proud of himself.
He deserves it, dude.
And then somehow Robin is able to see through Sniper King's disguise.
Impossible. I can't
I
believe
love
she's
that.
getting it wrong.
I just love that this is obviously a serious moment where, they're reconnecting and she sees him, but also Oda's like, this has to be funny too.
It only works because it's Usopp,
Yeah.
Like,
I think imagine how funny it'd be if Robin called him Sniper King when he showed up. Like Usopp accidentally stumbled upon some folklore hero.
Wait,
like he didn't even know. No, she doesn't.
Does she call him Usopp or Long Nose?
She says Long
Nose. She calls him Long Nose.
Okay, don't forget. We almost forgot there for a second. We're tracking
these. His nose is pressed up against the window.
That I got a good laugh out of that for no reason. Like he just looks so funny there.
This is all cartilage.
Yeah.
Chapter 370. You're not alone. I forgot to mention.
Sorry. Real quick before we move on to 370, you never talk about the SBS artworks at the top, and I feel like that's a crime sometimes.
You know what? You're right. Fuck you, Bradley.
I forgot what SBS stands for. You guys can talk about it whenever you want.
SBS does not translate in English. It's Japanese words.
But like at the top, SBS always has these different artworks going on, and I always thought they were super cool.
They're cool.
I just thought it was interesting. You've never pointed them out, or you mentioned that.
I think it's interesting that Bradley didn't bring up that Oda hopes that Nami wears no bra, which I think is like a Bradley thing. But I guess what do I know?
This person asked, "Hey, does Nami wear a strapless bra, or does she just not wear one?" And Oda's like, "I hope it's no bra."
I'm gonna keep it real with you.
So I forgot to mention on the cover story, I think, that Miss Golden Week and her friends drop down onto Vacation Island.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of fucking cool islands in One Piece.
This is going places too. There's gonna be a really cool connection next chapter. But Usopp brings up these little octopus shoes. He's like, "Oh, you can get away with this." Do you remember that this is not the first time we've seen these octopus shoes?
Did we see it in Skypiea?
In Skypiea, Usopp uses them to climb on the side of Arc Maxim, which I think is just a cute throwback.
I figured that it was in Skypiea, but I couldn't remember the exact moment.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. That's probably what gave him away. That's probably how she knew it was Usopp.
Yeah, that's the only way.
So Usopp, has a dialogue with Robin here where he's like, "Oh, we're here to save you," and he tells her something that I just want to put a mirror in front of his face. And he's like, "Do you really think they'd be grateful to be alive knowing one of their crewmates sacrificed herself for them?" And then he says, "Now that they know why you left the crew, they'll follow you to the depths of hell if necessary and knock the stuffing out of your enemies along the way." And it's like, he's recognizing that the Straw Hats will stop at nothing to get one of their friends back. And it's like, that goes for you too, man. They're not just let go of you.
It's some good dialogue too, and I feel like Soga King is a mask that Usopp can wear to kind of say the things that he might be too proud to say, and like I feel like his dialogue is noticeably like very intense, even though like Soga King is a very big joke. Like the things he says while he's Soga King are things that Usopp I feel like wouldn't be saying otherwise. It's very interesting.
They're things that he has realized over the course of the events at Water 7.
It's genuinely a persona where he can be braver than he truly feels.
And then he pulls out the mask and he says, "Persona!"
Yeah, totally.
That's real. No, that doesn't happen until the next chapter.
Oh,
So-
dude, these little gags with Robin sitting on Usopp's lap. Sorry,
Yeah.
Joe.
I'm glad that she actually let him hide.
Yeah. So that's an important moment, isn't it? Sorry, that she still cares. Like she generally does care.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Plus
It-
one to Oda redeeming Robin. You know, like
Yeah.
we're gonna keep a little bit track, but
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I don't know, just that little unsaid gesture of her letting him hide with her. That's what I'm like. Yeah, no, Robin still loves our boys
Yeah.
and
Pork
girls.
bones.
uh,
We go back to the best fight in One Piece.
I mean, there's some generally good shots here, but when Sanji pulls out these knives here in a second, this shit is so hype and it has no right to be because Wanze is a fucking idiot. But like, it's just so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I will say, like one of the coolest aspects of this fight is that, this is the first time we see Sanji use weapons, and he's okay using them because he's not actually
He's fighting food.
Wanze, he's fighting the ingredients. And so as soon as he dismantles the food mech suit, he puts the knives up, and we see the oh fuck, sorry, I just burped. We see the difference between Sanji and Wanze later on, where Sanji puts up the knives as soon as the noodles are gone, and after he puts the knives up, Wanze is like, "Well, I'll just cut you with my knives," and I'm like, "That's where the fight ended because
You lost.
you're the inferior cook." So now you
But we got a genuinely better fight here with Nero. Good choreography all around. I love the follow through of his Tempest kick, where he's
Hell
doing
yeah.
a backflip and he follows through with an attack.
Mm-hmm.
The part I thought was really funny is, we established that, well, actually, I guess the move I'm thinking of doesn't happen until the next chapter, so we should do the chapter break first.
Okay.
Chapter 371, the Honorable Captain T-Bone. I saw that title, and I was like, yes,
Yes.
love him. Also,
Also, God, what's her name? The Bind fruit
Hina.
lady.
Hina's here.
and that is Iron...
Iron Fist full body.
And Django.
And Django, the Django. The D is silent. So, we're getting this kind of idea of Hina that is not explicitly said. You can only piece this together about her if you're paying attention to these cover arcs. The first time we met Hina, she was at a dance groove island, and now she's at a vacation island. Hina just fucking goes to chill ass islands and pretends to work. And you can only piece that together if you plot out her course.
I never realized that. Well, you're right.
I mean, she will go do work. She went to Alabasta too.
Yeah.
I think it's fun. I think she's the character that, like, most of her screen time has been in cover story arcs.
Pretty
She's
much.
the end of Alabasta. But I think that's the only time we saw her in the main story.
Yeah.
She's been in, like, what, 2 or 3 cover stories?
She was a big part of the first one, and now she's becoming a bigger part of this one.
Yeah.
So it's cool. You get to see that she takes a lot of leisurely time with the islands that they choose to go to.
So, are full body and Django simps, or are they just fuckboys? We're gonna ask this about a lot of One Piece characters.
They're fuckboys.
That's what I figured.
You think they're simps?
I think
No,
that's
I think they're fuckboys.
Nah, they're fuckboys. No, like Iron Full Body when he's doing that wine thing in Baratier.
true.
That is such a fuckboy move.
That is,
He's like, oh, this wine, please sleep with me.
bag though.
Anywho,
The Honorable Captain T-Bone chapter. We see the Red Rocket or fucking Rocket Man.
Red Rocket.
oh, slow down, buddy.
We see Rocket Man is still going. And I think this is fun. We see everybody on the boat reenacting
The 300-pound cannon.
Yeah.
just because they think it's so cool and because it was so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is something I think I talked about in the last talk where these the disconnected train cars are coming up, and I think it's funny. Luffy just rockets over there, and then he stands up and he's getting shot at, and he's like, "No, they're not here." But yeah, this is the part I talked about where he just has so much faith in Zoro where he's like, hey, Zoro, cut it. And he's like, okay. And everyone's like, oh, yeah, he's going to cut it. And then he cuts it.
This fucking page, man.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
But man, Zoro and Luffy, they have just been allies for so long.
They just
And they
know.
just have so much respect for each other that they know they can make requests like this and the other person will be able to do it.
They're so good together, man. That's why they're Zoro he's not ever described as such, but he's the first mate of the crew. He's like the vice captain when it comes down to it.
And Usopp is the captain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then after cutting this, we see Zoro put his fucking bandana on, and I was like, oh, okay, so this isn't over. Like, we're about to get fucking real.
Yeah, he sees a giant sea king that was split in two, and he's like, oh boy.
He's like, something must have cut this guy.
Yeah.
Man, T-Bone's back, baby.
T-Bone.
It's the tree.
T-Bone is chasing the train on foot because how much blood, how many tears will be shed in this world full of inequalities? I must show them that there is justice. He's chasing down that train because he truly believes that Nico Robin needs to go to prison because that's how justice is going to be served.
Yeah, I just love this man.
And, okay, so we've met all of these Marines. Half of them have been assholes. You've got the good ones, but they're all stern, like Smoker and Hina. But then you have this genuinely, like, good Marine, and I think it's really important that a character like Full Body exists in the same arc as we're seeing the true dark side of the law, which is the CP9.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is T-Bone's one of those characters where obviously he is an antagonistic force to our main crew. I mean, he's a very powerful member of the Marines, but he's not a bad guy.
He's not. He's actually so minor, but his contrast with the CP9 is really strong when you think about it. Like, he would agree with Chuck McGill, where he would say the law is sacred and must be upkept. And it's just wholesome because then you have the really cruel people like Lucci out there who would not be as endearing as T-Bone in a situation like this.
And I really like T-Bone. I kind of wish he got more screen time, but the screen time he did get was fucking awesome. They have, I guess we couldn't really have had that much more screen time because we have to get the train caught up to the other train. But it's a really cool standoff between him and Zoro where they both charge up their attacks and Zoro just shatters his fucking sword.
And I like his line here. I'm sure your burden of justice is heavy, but we're carrying some burdens of our own. And it's interesting because it brings you back. It's like, wait, the Straw Hats, you got to remember, are technically not always the good guys. By law, they're the bad guys, but even then. But, I mean, everyone's just fighting for what they believe in, and that's kind of the beauty of this scene.
So, Zoro versus T-Bone was just fucking awesome.
And that's Zoro's 6 coma in Jump Ultimate Stars, where he's taking off the bandana.
In this next SBS is where we get to see Michael and Hoikel.
The gods.
They are in 6th grade. They're 12 years old. They've been sent to the counselor 620 times.
Oh, no.
They shoplift from the supermarket.
They've broken into 997 school windows.
This is who they thought assassinated.
Fantastic. I want to bring up, because I think we already passed it, but I missed it because we sped through it. Wanze also shows a sense of justice while he's fighting Sanji. He has some dialogue that appeals to his sense of justice. So even he's on that train because he believes he's fighting for the good fight, as much of a dork as he is. So I think these two characters are really important to put in this arc, and I appreciate them more because of it.
I think, yeah, that's. I feel like that's going to be a big theme for all the Navy folks and world government folks going forward. Is that like the Navy doesn't conscript, really? I would say
they don't.
They don't conscript. Like they don't like call a draft. essentially.
Ah,
And
yeah.
force
As far as
people
we know, yeah.
as far as we know, in the 972 chapters of One Piece.
Yeah.
But like I think it's interesting because like it generally feels like everyone that's up in these higher echelons of the government that we've seen so far,
They care.
they care and they have motivation to be there.
Hmm.
With the exception of maybe one, Axeham Morgan was just kind of a dick.
Yeah.
But
And
even
and
then,
the mouse Nezu was corrupt. But like those are the lower guys where they're in the lower part of the world and they're
they're in East
facing
Blue, which is
less.
like
Yeah.
yeah,
It seems like all those lower level guys were much more liable to be the assholes who like abuse their power. These guys, they they all at least talk about justice and their sense of justice, whereas other guys like the lower level guys like Mouse Boy would have just been like, "Fuck you, I'm with the Navy."
and
And
it's always.
you can think of go ahead, Joe.
I was gonna say it's interesting because like you look at that shonen, I feel like a lot of another shonen mangas when you introduce an organization, a lot of these villains are like, I'm here for power, or they have some psychotic motivation. But these guys generally feel like they think the Navy is the way to go to make the world right and
Yeah.
justified and so forth.
Remember this working theory we've been working with where the One Piece world scales geographically. These guys are fighting more dangerous foes out here as well. They're fighting tyrants and actual bad pirates, like of much higher caliber than a Boogie the Clown. So I guess it also makes sense that they have more of a justice drive because they're putting more of their lives in danger and they're seeing worse things potentially.
You don't get this far just thinking. You don't get this far basically trying to climb the ladder for power purposes. Like you generally have to like have the tenacity and will
Yeah.
to fight the people here.
Yeah, I think that's the message Oda's trying to get across.
So, chapter 372, Plastic Surgery. So, on this cover story, we see the wanted poster for Bon Clay. And so, I guess the implication here is that he was imprisoned at the end of Alabasta and he has escaped now.
Mr. 2, an expert at breaking out of prison. I wouldn't say that's the implication, but it's saying that all it's really saying is that Mr. 2 is good at breaking out of prisons.
Okay, I didn't know if he did get captured at the end of Alabasta, so
Yeah.
I can remember.
I feel like it's more like Miss Golden Week is like if we can find Mr. 2, if anyone else got imprisoned, he would be useful to break him out. I think that's her mindset here.
Okay. Because
Tempest kick.
is the Grand Master Planner.
She is.
She's so
She's
smart.
actually Mrs. Zero.
Welcome to the Golden Week cast.
We're quickly approaching the point where Frankie's anatomy is stretching thin here because his right arm can do the flying like chain punch. His left arm can detach and shoot bullets, but also the flat side of it can become a shield. So just try to keep track of like what body parts are doing what, because I feel like we're gonna quickly reach this point where it's like, wait, I thought that was your cannon arm.
What if in the MCU we just replaced Iron Man with Frankie?
It would be a better. And I like Iron Man. So...
Yeah.
I respect you, Frankie. I hope they remember you.
He would go like super.
Oh, I love this unbeatable strategy of Frankie's where he just lays on the ground and he's like, "Can't get me now, bitch.
You can't. You just can't
Can't hit
win.
my weak spot."
Have you heard about the centaur, Bradley?
No, I had not.
Let me tell you
Kind of fucking hilarious.
about the legendary centaur.
Because I don't know. I don't know. When I saw the word centaur, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be really cool." And then I moved my eye like a meter to the left, and I was like, "Oh,
Oh no! But he somehow made it cool though.
yeah,
But
it's funny."
not
And
yet.
I mean, it actually works. So we're kind of flip flopping between all of our different fights right now.
Yeah.
Sanji cuts up the armor, he puts the knives away, and then as soon as Wanze, is that his name?
Wanze, yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as he throws the knives at Sanji, before I even saw the kick in the next panel, I was like, he just lost the fight because this is a fight between cooks, and he just showed himself to not be a true cook. So
Yeah, and you get how One Piece works now.
yeah.
Also, like Sanji's his precision is S tier, you could say.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because he makes this man look beautiful. He's like, you ruined my individuality.
Yeah, he kicks this man into being pretty.
He looks like Zoro in this one panel where his eyes are bulging out.
Yeah. So he does a Superboy kick, and he kicks him into the car where all the CP9 agents are, which is cool.
I think that panel looks so good. It's like the impact of these 3 kicks, but they're also drawn on the same panel.
Yeah. He kicked him so hard that he reverted the plastic surgery he did.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
That brings us into chapter 373, Necessary Evil, which is for an arc like this, that's a fucking chapter name right there.
Chapter name.
Anyway, Bradley, remember the plastic surgery kick. It will be important later.
Okay, I'll remember it.
All right.
So we see the centaur actually fucking worked. He's able to,
I like how it works too, because he has to flip over and it just latches on.
Yeah, he punches this motherfucker through the roof, and then now all of our people are reunited again on this train.
Ultimate Hammer looks fantastic.
That's a great spread.
God damn. Look at that. And yeah, everyone's reunited.
And we see Lucci kill Nero because he's just not good enough.
He talks to him a little bit. He's just like, never mind. I'm gonna give you 3 seconds. Like he has about 3 sentences worth of patience before he's just done with Nero.
And this is one of those moments where I'm just like, I feel like all the other people on this train do have their sense of justice, but I think Lucci's just a bad person.
I think Lucci's full of shit. Like this chapter is called what was it called? For Justice or
Necessary Evils.
Yeah. And you can attribute that to Lucci, but then you're like, is that what you really think?
Yeah.
So, Lucci's trying to explain to Frankie and Sanji, like, hey, that this is just the way it is. It's, it's fucking unfortunate for Robin that she was born being the person who would know how to awaken this power. But, we got to do what we got to do. And he says this sentence right here that everyone's going to know what I'm talking about, where he's like, for example, if there were a demonic power capable of burning the world to ashes, and the only one who could awaken that power was an innocent little girl, a mere 8 years old, don't you think that girl should be killed for the sake of humanity?
Bradley, what are you thinking about?
Is I'm imagining like 12-year-old Johnny is reading One Piece in his room, and he reads that, and he's like, oh, and he goes and he crawls up on his parents' bed, and he's like, Mommy, Daddy, if an 8-year-old girl is the only one who can have demonic power, do you think they should be killed? And his parents are like, oh. Like, One Piece is dropping some philosophical questions.
Maybe One Piece should be censored. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Bradley, I thought you were going to link this to your favorite series. There's a very clear link with this line of reasoning.
It's, one of the taglines of Worm is, do morals matter if the alternative is a grim and hopeless end? And the thing is, this question that Lucci asks, who can answer it?
Someone can.
Who watched the Watchmen?
Someone can answer it really quick.
Really quickly. But yeah, it is something to think about, because we know where the CP9 members fall on this side of the question. But holy fuck, I don't know. I'm just, because I know young people read One Piece, and I don't know, if I read this when I was at like 6th grade, I don't know. I was naive. I was a naive young boy. I wouldn't know what to think.
This is in the same chapter as the Frankie Centaur, so it's like, oh my god, what am I even reading? And like you're getting the sense that the CP9 is extremely utilitarian. Like, greater good, no
Or-
matter the cost.
I wouldn't even say CP9. I would say mainly Lucci is
Well,
utilitarian.
I mean, the CP9 are assassins. Like, they might not be as mean as Lucci, but
I guess if you want,
they will absolutely kill for the greater good.
I guess if you want to look at that broader scope of the government workings,
Yeah.
I would say so. I would say Lucci ultimately represents that thought, though.
I mean, Lucci likes to philosophize about it, but they're all killers, so
Yeah.
it's just something to bring up.
All I know is we have a curly black-haired character who says, in the face of an end-of-the-world scenario,
I'm gonna kill this child.
it's okay to kill a little girl.
Woo!
So, he is trying to explain this to Sanji and Usopp, or no, Sanji and Frankie right now. We don't know where Usopp is. Oh fuck, I'm sorry. Sniper King. Oh, I'm sorry, Soga King.
Stop. Just talk.
So yeah, Sanji's like, "Fuck you, shut your mouth, cut it out." And Robin comes out, and she tries to shut them down. She's like, "No, leave." And she's still operating under the guise like she's still trying to convince them, "No, I don't want you here. No, I want you to leave." She really does want help, but she still has to act this way because she doesn't want them to get hurt. She wants them to leave. And she's still trying to convince them that she doesn't want to go back so that they'll leave. And at this point, you might be wondering, okay, it's clear everyone's coming to help her, and if they all fight together, they can rescue her. But we see that she has this, leftover childhood trauma from that Buster call when she was little, where she just doesn't want to risk that for her friends. So she's going to do everything she can to get them away.
And Lucci is saying it, like, he's rubbing it in her face. It's like, because of that trauma, there's no way she'll go back to you. And I'll openly say this to her because I know. Like, they are so open to rubbing that wound and abusing it and using it. And Robin's like, I can't deny it. He's right.
Do we have anything else for this chapter?
There's a little thing here at the end where it's, what's your favorite move for the big three of the... what are your favorite moves so far?
Dude, I think fucking Luffy destroying an arrow with the golden ball against the
golden rifle.
That shit was so cool.
You got one for Zoro and Sanji?
Not really. I don't actually remember most of their move names. I'm sorry.
For me, well, as the true One Piece lover here, for me, Luffy's Gum Gum Storm so far. I like Zoro's Dragon Twister. And then I like Sanji. This Mutton Mallet is good, but I really like that triple kick that we just saw as well.
Yeah.
So, and then I also like the anti or bad manners kick course where he just gets his legs in a 180 degree and kicks upwards. It's great. Onwards.
So we see Chapter 374, Scramble, which is also the name of this volume. Cover story, our Baroque Works friends put on... they put on, like, disguises because I think they know that they're wanted now. And it's kind of funny because we'll have villains... like in the main story, you'll have people who are villains, and it's like, oh, fuck you, you're that guy. But whenever we see them in the cover stories, I just don't view them as bad guys anymore. I'm like, no, they're our friends.
They've been purified by the ass kickery that is the Straw Hats. So.
Yeah, it's like you can think of all the bad things they participated in, but now I'm like, oh no, like they're.
And I think also like conflict is a thing of circumstance and perspective, especially in the One Piece universe. Like, it goes back to what Tom was saying, is that just because someone's a pirate doesn't mean they're a bad person, or doesn't mean that that a ship is bad because it's a pirate ship or whatever. It's like it's all about how it's viewed and what it does. So it's the idea that, like, once again, like, they're just people and they can be whatever they want. It's just they have to choose to be that way.
Now these guys were crooks.
They were crooks.
I like stories where everyone can turn over a second leaf, personally, or even if, like, they're just being neutral here. Like they're not like doing good, they're not doing bad. They're just trying to survive. I think that's cool. I think Oda's a little optimistic with some of these villains potentially.
Yeah.
And I like it, but I could see why it wouldn't work for other people. Where it's like, no, they try to blow up a country, and I would never forgive them for that. I'm like, fair. I want to forgive them, so give me reasons to forgive them, and let's see if we get some reasons.
It's like, oh, they're goofy and quirky, so it's okay.
It reminds me of The Good Place. If you take out all the racism, what happens?
So we go into this next chapter, and hey, our frog friend is back, and I'm sad again.
Man, that reveal that we gave to you was so good.
That fucking killed me.
Hey, Bradley, remember that frog? What are you talking about?
So also at the end of the last chapter, our friends grabbed Robin and tried to get away, and she seems very distraught here. She has like her head in her hands, and the CP9 members just pull the train car back over.
Just with their hands and whips. This is another really good Sanji move. Actually, my favorite Sanji move so far is Concassor, where he jumps in the air and he spins, and then he comes down with an axe kick.
And he moves the iron body. He kicks Bluno with his iron body on and wobbles him.
Yeah, and Kaku's like, okay, stuff's getting a little serious here.
This is some real fucking shit. He's probably one of the main fighters.
So far, from what we've gotten, I feel like Blueno's iron body feels especially strong. It's something about his character design, and he was the first one to use it. Like, I feel like that's his specialty.
Yeah, like, I associate it with him, even though they can all use it.
Yeah.
It kind of has that ox motif, too, with the horns.
Yeah.
So he's kind of like that strong bull.
Yeah. So Sanji being able to just do some chip damage to it is impressive.
And this battle is doubly hard for the Straw Hats because we see Robin is still trying to fight to get them away because she doesn't want them to get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you think it's interesting that they just let Robin walk around with that sea prism on her?
Yeah, it goes back to what we're saying. Like, they truly believe, from what they've seen, that she wants to die. Like, she is willing to do whatever it takes for the Straw Hats to get away. So they're like, we have like her wounds won't heal. She will comply.
They know they have her in a psychological checkmate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad.
She never attacks them here. She attacks Usopp even, which
he doesn't even attack Usopp. Just like pins him. If anything, it probably saves.
That's an
Usopp.
Attack still.
Yeah, I mean, but like, if anything, it really saves his life because Usopp went in.
Yes. Can we talk about the truth of the door fruit?
Okay.
This shit wild.
How do you guys? Okay. How do you guys feel about this?
Oh, I love the door fruit. It's great.
I don't know if I love it or hate it.
Why don't you like it?
He can open. Is this him opening a door in the air and it's like a portal?
Yeah.
Bradley,
when you think of a One Piece power, you can't think of a power in any other series. It is a theme. One Piece power. You don't get the powers to open a door. You become a door man and everything that entails.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was just going to be like walls and objects or people. I don't know. For some reason,
your brain has to expand, especially going forward after this.
You have to be 2,000 IQ, Bradley.
Yeah,
or
I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know if I love it. Don't know if I hate it.
Well, I think going forward from here, especially after Water 7, like the Devil Fruits are going to expand on what they can do and what they mean.
Yeah. I don't know.
Not necessarily like this, the door fruit, but it's just keeping open minds.
I just had to go over this page a lot of times because I was like, what?
It's like a language thing. Like his theme is door, so he's making a door in space.
I think he gets that. I think he's just saying that it's kind of silly.
I get what he's doing. I just think it might be dumb, and I haven't decided if it's dumb. So
what makes it dumb? Like physically?
I don't know if I'd like that idea. I don't know if I think I like it. So.
I think this is on the level of of Bruno zipping through the ground in part 5, and you don't know what's happening. Like, it's just where's he zipping to? Where's he door opening to? Where's he walking inside to? You know?
I don't know. I don't know. My opinion's up in the air on the air door.
All right. Just oh man, I can't wait for revolving door time. That's gonna be great.
What else happens in this chapter?
Have faith in Luffy.
Do it.
Do it. Don't give it up, Robin.
Sanji's pissed.
He really is. Yeah, so Bluno kind of does this moment where he's like, okay, long ago there was an incident. This is where he reveals, you know, how they're so sure about the things they are sure about with Robin's psyche, where they're like, okay, there was a buster call, and it burned an island to ash, and the only survivor was Robin. And this is the moment where I kind of made my theory, like, okay, maybe this is what they're talking about, the demons of Ohara, which obviously there's no confirmation. These are referring to the same incident. But that's like, I don't know, that's my red line on the board on my wall right now. So we'll see.
We'll learn more. Nightless Island. This shit's wild.
Yeah, this is kind of fucking cool.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that.
I completely forgot that Enies Lobby was a Nightless Island.
Yeah, I feel like it'd probably be. I don't know, if you're one of these government officials, it's probably a lot easier to feel like you're on the right side when you just have like these heavenly beams shining down on your island.
Also think about, like, you know, if it's a Nightless Island, you can clearly see what's going on all the time. This used to be called Day Day Island. I don't know. I'm just making up shit. The island ate the Day fruit.
Anyways, Frankie's glad that Iceberg survived, which is nice. It's cute.
Chapter 375.
Yeah.
The Supermen of okay, I've
Enies Lobby.
Enies Lobby.
Enies Lobby.
Enies Lobby. Okay, so Hina's discovery. Does she realize that these are the Baroque Works members right now?
Guess you're gonna have to find out.
I don't know. She's thinking about the unluckies, I think, right now.
Well, she's like, I torture them to draw pictures of the remaining Baroque's work members.
I don't think she tortures them. I think she bribed them with food.
No, that's torture, Joe.
What?
They're if they only get fed if they draw.
Oh,
I view this as torture personally.
I view this as like, I'll give you this food if you can draw, but
yeah, because they're not getting fucking fed. Joe.
You guys have the two opposite reactions.
There's like a hot light bulb on their faces so that they're even more pressured. Anywho, Frankie's happy.
Yeah, we get this. So we get to now see Frankie and Robin have their dialogue. We get to have like every combination of characters talking in this story.
This is the first time we're gonna ever interact because Robin walked out of the Straw Hats like right before all this incident happened.
Yeah. The most amazing thing about the conversation here to me is the part where she's like, you know, I can't go back to them. I'll hurt them just by being with them. And so, you know, this is number one, aside from the even cooler thing, this is just kind of more confirmation that no, she really does care about these people. But also it leads to this great response from Frankie. See how much of an impact Tom's lessons had on him, where he's like, just being isn't a crime. You know, you're not the one who would be hurting them. Other people might hurt them if you're around, but you didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Anyways, keep
Beautiful.
that panel in mind for later. This is kind of evidence number 2 in my whole Why I Love Water 7 thesis that's going to happen in like the next 2 volumes, I think, 2 or 3.
Yeah. So we see Luffy and the Frog and the rest of the gang on Rocket Man, and they're catching up. And then whenever we finally go back to Frankie and Robin, they are on Enies Lobby.
I love how Frankie just takes a bite out of this asshole here.
Yeah,
Super.
And this gate looks really fucking cool. This island looks really fucking cool.
Yeah. Do you see like the background there?
Oh yeah,
They talk about that, right?
yeah, they do.
Cool.
Like, ooh, what is up with this island?
So this island does not make sense to me. It's just that strip of land.
Yeah,
There are One Piece characters that could so easily destroy that strip of land.
Ooh, but they couldn't even get close.
Yeah, that's what I have to believe. Because if they got here, like that whole judicial building in the center would be in the bottom of that hole.
I can totally see just an angry Frankie punching the ground
And just
on that
cracking that
strip,
ass.
and it destroys this whole headquarters.
Oda should have made that strip of land like 300% thicker, and it would have still looked cool.
Or have some suspension beams or some shit underneath of it.
I'm just scared for them. Like these are the bad guys, and I'm scared.
That strip of land is made out of strong dirt.
Oh,
Oh,
duh,
it's strong fruit.
I
man.
guarantee you, if that was in the SBS corner, he would just,
Yeah, I was like, that was such an SBS answer.
So disregarding the tiny strip of land, I really like this like bottomless pit feeling of
Yeah, it
in
looks
this
awesome.
lobby here. It's got this weird sense of like it's such a big contrast because we're on this nightless island, so it's bright all the time. So you have this big bright light contrasted over this big dark pit that's right below
A
it.
big darkness is at the center here.
Yeah. It's just such a cool concept and it does get that feeling of like Tartarus pit from like Greek mythology, like the
Yeah.
pit where like you get thrown into and you never come out of.
The very final arc of One Piece is going to be like, oh no, the ocean is draining, and there's going to be no ocean, and pirates are going to be over. We have to stop the ocean. We have to plug up Innie's love.
No, we gotta do it.
The ocean's draining.
We meet the rest of the CP9. I love this scene.
Mhm.
Oh, this guy who keeps wanting to commit Japanese ritual suicide.
I like the one where he's like harakiri, but then he uses iron body on himself, so like the
can't
knife
do it.
can't pierce.
He's a lot of fun, and the other guys are just interesting. Like this zipper mouth guy just
Yeah.
apparently revealed their.
I'm the one who blabbed. So that's what I was saying. Like these guys are a lot livelier than Lucci, but they just came back from a mission where they're like, "Oh, we just upstaged like a rebellion against the world government in another country. We just finished that mission." So it's cool how they were doing their own thing while is it 4 or 5? I think it's 4 that we know now were doing their own thing.
I think
I wonder if we're gonna find out what country they were involved in later. Huh. I wonder.
Rebellions, they say. I wonder what that's about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've never seen any rebellions in One Piece.
Never.
Never.
I think that's all we got for that chapter.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh,
what do you got, Joe?
You got
no,
nothing.
I'm just going through this and I'm just making sure.
Okay.
Yeah, no, this is like this. The train part of this saga is kind of weird because it's kind of like I feel like it's almost like a mini arc stuck between Water 7 and Ace Lobby, where it's kind of like that transitional phase of like getting there because like we've made it now to Enies Lobby. This feels like a whole other chapter.
In a way, it's the end of the Water 7 arc, but in another way, it's its own little mini arc.
Yeah.
So chapter 376 is called I Got It. Hina did recognize our Brokeworks members, and so her thing was anything she passes her limb through like becomes bound by these.
She has
black
the cage
bind
fruit.
fruit.
She's a cage woman.
I thought it was a bind fruit.
Whatever, man.
She's cool. I like her.
I like it too. Do you think she's into like? Never mind.
Whatever, man.
Yeah.
These panels of Luffy meeting Sniper King are so good.
Yeah.
Because Luffy and Chopper are just so into it. They're like, "Oh God, you're so cool," and because like they would be the ones to believe it.
He's a hero. I thought he might be a hero because he's wearing the cape. Awesome. I've never seen a real hero.
But you also think about this scene. It's like, what's going through Sanji's head? No, not Sanji. Usopp's head, because this is the first time he's talked to Luffy since they're falling out.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. Do you think it's hard for him to do this?
No, Soga King is his mask to face these feelings that
Yeah.
he's troubling with. So he's just kind of doing it. He's just being Soga King, and it's working. And I love this one where they actually ask him where Sniper Island is, which Frankie and Sanji wouldn't, but these doofuses do, and he's like, "It's in your heart," and they're like, "Whoa!" I also love how Luffy's like shaking his hand in the bottom right, like it's the biggest honor. Oh, I love it.
And then I love this part where we have a page and a half of them giving this like very detailed plan on how they're gonna infiltrate this place, and then he ends the plan with just go straight after CP9, and Luffy's like, go straight after CP9, got it. And then he just leaves.
And he's within pages, he's just rampaging on the island.
And then we get to see the fucking Gates of Justice.
Yeah.
Which Oda drew this really well.
Yeah. I thought it was a great kind of like almost kind of fucking, I don't know, like a trick where like you see the initial gates, you're like, oh, that's kind of like what they're talking about.
Like, when I saw those smaller gates, I thought those were it at first.
Yeah. It was the giant thing in the back. Also, if it hasn't become clear yet, that symbol back there is the symbol of the world government.
Ooh, yeah.
And we could talk about it, like what does it mean? It's a bunch of circles together, but we'll build that theory as we go along.
Yeah.
So yeah, we kind of begin the plan. They start fucking storming the
castle.
This is the arc where it became very clear that there is not a single manga that I know that is a better fit for Muso games than One Piece. That's why the Pirate Warriors games work so well, because from this arc on, like, the Straw Hats are casually defeating hundreds of enemies from time to time, and it just works.
And what's also really cool here is when Luffy is slinging around in E's lobby, these people know who he is.
Yeah, he's got notoriety.
They're like, "Oh my god, that's Straw Hat Luffy," and I'm like, "Fuck yeah, it is, bitch."
Doesn't it make you feel proud of our boy?
Yeah,
I'm so proud of our criminal boy.
He's such a good criminal.
God, it's so cool, and he's fucking these dudes up too.
Yeah.
Oh man. And we kind of get our update on Frankie and Robin. They're getting really close to the gate, and we see Robin look back. Like, what is she thinking? Is she hoping that they're going to come rescue her after all? Is she hoping they're not going to come after her so they'll be safe? There's a million things she could be thinking.
It's a pretty telling look, but we can't know for sure, I suppose.
Man. And then chapter 377, the big showdown on the Judicial Island.
Woo!
And
God, spread.
Man, I think with this spread, I think going through these two volumes, I was like 90% sure. Now I'm like 99% sure Frankie's joining the Straw Hats. Like
yeah? Is that what you think?
Yeah. I think Frankie's officially in the crew now. Well, he's not officially in the crew, but
he's showing up in spreads, not Paulie.
Yeah. He's gonna be in the crew. I think we're there. I feel confident saying it's gonna happen.
There you go. I was gonna ask.
Volume has had like 3 different Panda Man illustrations.
Oh, Panda Man's all over the place in this bitch.
So this chapter. Wait, did we not get a? Oh yeah, we got a cover art, not a Miss Golden Week. Shame. Annie's lobby, Island Gate.
To go back to that cover page really quickly, kind of a recurring theme in One Piece is that Oda likes staging up these kind of like almost title, like UFC title fight kind of that. Like he's showing with this cover page, it's like this is your fight night lineup essentially for what's about to happen.
I have a prediction question. Now, you can't assume every arc that every minor villain is going to get a extended fight. But if you had to guess that each one of these characters is getting a fight, who is fighting who? Who do you think?
Oh fuck. Okay. Luffy is going to fight Lucci because he said, "I'm going after Lucci."
Whoa. Okay. All right. That's okay prediction. Reasoning, I guess.
Let's see. Nami is going to fight Secretary Girl because they're both girls.
I think so.
Well, I mean,
Oh,
as good as Oda is, he's a coward sometimes.
Yeah.
So
Obviously the two long noses have to see who the superior long nose is.
okay, so they're gonna poke each other with their noses.
Frankie
Sounds
is
good.
gonna fight Spandam.
Okay.
Yeah,
That
makes-
seems reasonable to me.
yeah.
Robin isn't gonna have like an extended fight. She's gonna eventually change her mind during one of their fights and save her friends.
Sure, something like that. What else?
So the Fuji mustache guy, he's one of the ones we just got introduced to, right?
Yeah, his name is Kumadori.
Okay. Fuck it. He's gonna fight Zoro because I said so.
Okay.
I think that's everybody. Oh no, Zipper Man.
You missed Zipperman, who is
And,
called oh my god, why am I forgetting his name?
Oh, it's
Chapapa?
Bruno Bucciarati.
You got Bluno and Chapapa.
Papa is gonna fight. Fuck it, Chopper.
Okay.
And then Sanji's gonna fight Bluno because his kick last time wobbled Bluno's iron body. And he's gonna do a bigger kick, and it's gonna break the iron body.
Okay.
Do you want a number of correct one? I'm not going to tell you which correct ones you've gotten, but do you want a number or do you want to just move on?
Oh, I didn't do who's gonna fight Suicide Boy.
Oh,
Actually,
you
no
did.
one.
You said Zoro would fight Suicide Boy.
No, he was talking about.
Suicide Boy's gonna fight himself.
Oh, you thought you were talking about Jabra. Okay, gotcha.
job problem.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
how
thought
many-
Suicide...
I don't know how many correct ones did I get.
One. All right, let's move on.
It's
I
gotta
wanna
be
point out one-
Luffy versus Lucci.
Just one interesting thing. When they get off the train, the CP9 people put Robin in handcuffs.
Yeah.
I just think it's interesting that they've now reached the island, so now they are like
Well,
fully incarcerating her now.
they've
Yeah, they
reached
don't
the
want her
point...
to change her mind, you know.
Yeah, they've reached the point of like procedures need to be met.
Yeah.
It is a judicial island, so yeah.
Like if there's ever a point she would get cold feet and decide she does want to escape, it'd probably be now. So
That'd be at the altar.
so this chapter opens up pretty quickly with Luffy kicking ass, and he starts the ally robot, which is kind of fucking horrifying. For the
Ally
person
robot
who-
punch, and the fact that like he jumps off and then he has this guy's allies slash him in the back. I like it when Luffy does fucked up stuff like that.
Yeah, this was kind of a fucking horrifying technique. It's really cool.
But it's funny though.
Yeah, it's funny.
I like robot punch.
This straight up is just the Muso chapter. Luffy is fucking everybody up.
He's reached the point where it's gonna take like above captain ranks to even really make him sweat.
Yeah. We're in actual Musu game territory now.
Yeah.
And I think if I didn't know that was the world government symbol up till now, Spandam's like, oh, don't they know what symbol that is? It's the world government symbol.
True that.
And then so we go back, and now Frankie family's kicking ass, Polly's kicking ass.
Everyone's getting in there.
Everyone's getting in
Even
there.
the sisters are getting in there.
I can't wait to play this level.
Yeah,
They open
it's a
the
good
gate.
one.
They open
Yeah.
the gate because their plan is to like drive the train straight through Innie's lobby. And now we get to see two giant warriors. So these are the first giants we've seen since Dory and Groggy.
Yeah, never
Actual
mind.
giants,
Never
not
mind
like-
those other giants.
Wumba.
Yeah, no, you're right. These are the first two we've seen since then.
Those are just large men. They
No.
are giants.
Note that they're wearing like traditional giant like clothes. They're dressed more like Dory and Broggy than a marine soldier, even though
Yeah.
Like, who was that giant motherfucker? Whitebeard?
Yeah.
yeah.
He's not giant. That's
Yeah,
just a
he's
large
not
man.
giant, but he probably is as big as these guys.
Oh, he's a little bit shorter.
Whitebeard is as big as the tall man in Frankie's crew. Or
Yeah,
something like
he's
that.
fucking, I don't know, big.
God,
And
look
this
at
is
these
cool.
spreads.
This fucking spread where Luffy's surrounded, and like, how many dozens of your cohorts did you bring? Because there's 10,000 of us. He's like, yeah, it's just me. Get out of my way, bitch. Woo. Luffy's not worried at all. He knows he can beat these people.
Luffy knows he's in a Muso game and he's high leveled enough.
I love that Luffy knows he can do this because he's
God, I'm
a badass.
so excited. Oh, the next volumes, man.
Yeah, I'm glad I read both of these like in a
I
stretch.
am too.
Both of these volumes together were like the train volume.
Yeah, I feel like if you it worked out really well because if you only did half, that would have been a little bit of an awkward place to leave it. So it worked out really well. And this we're in Ennie's lobby now. I can properly say we've started the Ennie's lobby arc, and this arc is so good. So I'm excited.
Hold on, it's been a while. We gotta do some updating.
Oh yeah! Wow, it's been 300 years.
These are just gonna get longer and longer in between each other. Predictions to Know Your Friends edition. All right, let's make sure we actually made the. Okay, so that's Steel Ball Run, One Piece. Where the oh, there it is. Okay. All right, Bradley, what is your Water 7 ranking?
My official Water 7 ranking, I thought about it. This had like some of my favorite character moments in the whole story. And one of my favorite fights in the whole story, the Luffy versus Usopp.
Yeah, we gotta remember where we've come from here.
Yeah.
I think there's just been so much good stuff. I'm going to give Water 7 right now to you a 4.5 out of 5.
Ooh.
The only thing stopping it from giving me like a 5 out of 5 is like the first half of Water 7 and then like kind of the end of Water 7 I really liked. There was kind of a while there where I was like, okay, I want to like I think it was while everybody was kind of separated and like I don't know. It was like between Robin and Usopp leaving the crew and them getting on the train, for some reason that just felt slower to me. And then even all the fights on the train, I was just like, okay.
Joe, we should add a column for like what Bradley thinks of it as a cohesive 2-part arc, because that's another way to look at it. So we can have the individual halves, and then we can have like a saga rating.
Like the first half of Water 7, I'm like, that's 5 out of 5.
I think we still get points, Joe, because we round up.
Do we round up?
Yeah,
I forget.
That's how we've always done it.
All right, yeah, we still get points. What was your Long Ring Long Land arc rating, Bradley?
What?
The Long Island,
which includes so that's Davy back fight and Aokiji.
Dude, Davy back fight. Unpopular gaming opinion, Davy back fight arc. It's kind of fucking good.
I know, right? Oh my god. I'm gonna down a hill with Bradley. It's literally just you and me, dude.
I kind of really fucking liked it. I want to give it a 4 out of 5.
Hey! I didn't guess that at all, but I take those.
No, Willer, you guessed the 4 out of 5. You get points.
I thought the Aokiji part would also clinch it, because it was about what the fuck.
We also... Okay, so we're gonna do some catch-up here, really quickly, Bradley. We apparently missed a lot of arcs.
Yeah, I mean,
Alabasta.
We did Alabasta.
It's not on here.
Oh shit!
Did we not give a rating for Alabasta?
No, I think we got so caught up in the moment we just forgot to completely do it.
Top of my head, 4 out of 5.
All right. We both don't get any points there. Willer, Jaya. That's the one with
Bellamy, Cricket.
Yeah.
The South Bird.
The spring fruit.
3 out of 5. I mean, you know,
okay.
It's there.
Either Willer, and finally Skypiea. I hope you remember.
Dude,
Skypiea.
I was also thinking about this today.
Ooh.
I think for the longest time, Arlong Park was my favorite arc in One Piece.
No shit.
Wow.
I think Skypiea might be my favorite arc.
Whoa.
I'm giving it a 5 out of 5.
Is that points for me?
Nope.
Skypiea,
4 out of
5.
5.
So many fucking good talks. I really like Skypiea.
Yeah.
5 out of 5.
Bradley, you are the most unpopular gaming opinion. Yeah, those are some hot takes.
Because I know you said like Skypiea doesn't always get a ton of love.
Skypiea, people think Skypiea is too long, especially in the anime. From our talks from Skypiea, it's also a 5 out of 5 for me.
Talking to y'all about Skypiea really elevated it for me.
Yeah, that was an arc where I was like, oh my god, I'm so glad Bradley's reading this because this is making it even better. Like, we caught some really cool stuff.
I gave Long Ring Island a 3. I was reading to you about it.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That was the one you hated.
I didn't hate it. It was just like
What is this goofy shit?
I don't even know. I don't know what
All
I was
right,
thinking.
thank you for joining us on the. Is that everything, Joe?
Do you think? Okay, so we already did our general. Who do you think is joining the Straw Hat crew? Do you think there are any more flashbacks? What do you think there's going to be any flashbacks in Annie's lobby arc?
Robin.
Okay,
Robin's gonna get a flashback, and it's gonna be really fucking
I
sad.
can't wait for the Kaku flashback, baby.
Yeah, we get to see how he got his long nose.
Straw Hats, obviously.
He had a normal nose, Bradley. That's all I'm gonna tell you, and the rest is
He's
history.
going to consume Usopp.
All right, thank you for joining us on the Road Poneglyph. Until next time, everybody.
I'm gonna